Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 1st November 2020. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper for mains purpose and for prelims purpose. One by one we will see these articles. As we know that some important articles on Sunday's newspaper on FAQ page, international page and science and technology page. So yes, on international page this is the article, the coming together of the Quad in the seas. Now recently we have seen the Quad meeting was there, and how this has resulted into militarization of Quad, and then we can say that the Malabar exercise and inclusion of Australia in this year's Malabar exercise. This is what shows the significance of Quad grouping here. Now significance of Malabar exercise, this article is talking about. In November 2020, the frontline warships from India, Australia, Japan and US will team up off the coast of Visakhapatnam in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so phase 1 will be carried out in Bay of Bengal and phase 2 of this exercise will be carried out in Arabian Sea. Okay, in 2 phases in this November month. While the quadrilateral security dialogue Quad between the 4 has no military dimension, they are now teaming up to exercise together under Malabar banner. Okay. So some history of this Malabar exercise is given. Like Malabar began as simple passes exercise in 1992 between navies of India and US and hit a pause in 1998 after India's nuclear test in Pokhran to resume again in 2002. Okay, since then it has become an annual feature. Okay, so over the years the exercise grew in scope and complexity. It got converted into trilateral exercise with Japan's inclusion in 2015, and now it has become quadrilateral exercise of inclusion of Australia this year. So there is growing some kind of military cooperation, especially naval cooperation in among the 4 Quad countries. India has quietly improved its military cooperation with each of the Quad countries bilaterally. Okay, since 2008, China has maintained regular presence in Indian Ocean region in the name of anti-piracy patrols and even deployed submarines for the purpose. In 2017, China formally opened its first overseas base in Djibouti in the Horn of Africa. So basically, there is increasing presence, naval presence of China in Indian Ocean, and we do not want that. Okay, so this Malabar exercise acts as a deterrence, and we can say that increasing the capabilities of Indian Navy or military capabilities, especially in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, so yes, while all eyes are on the exercise, the question is whether Australia's participation this year is one-off incident or it will continue to be part of Malabar going forward. So at present this year participation decision is, we can say that the temporary or this year only. However, the permanent inclusion of Australia, the decision on that part is not taken by Ministry of Defence of India. Okay, so yes, the question is still there regarding that. So ये background आपको पता होना चाहिए, military cooperation, how it is increasing, significance of Malabar exercise, especially we can say that India's role in Indian Ocean. Fine. Okay, moving on to next article. Yes, high tech transfer. We can say that recently in 2+2 India-US ministerial dialogue, there was signing of BECA agreement, and this is the 4th and last foundational agreement between India and US. Now with the help of these foundational agreement, what is the significance of this foundational agreement? This is what the article is talking about. Okay, so yes, we will see what is given in this article. Yes, defense technology cooperation between India and US and its significance. Okay, so yes, in this 2+2 dialogue, BECA was signed, Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement. Okay, so what are these foundational agreements? United States enters into what are called as foundational or enabling agreements with its defense partners. Okay, the US sells military equipments to other countries with strict control over deployment and use. So US is also eager to advance interoperability with defense forces of other countries and its defense partners. Okay, so basically these agreements focus towards increasing interoperability. Fine. So what are these agreements? What do these agreements do? Like a general security and military information agreement. GSOMIA जो फर्स्ट एग्रीमेंट था. Okay, so this is for sharing of classified information among these countries. LEMOA for logistic support and COMCASA for communication equipment interoperability, we can say that, and BECA this recently signed for exchange of geospatial information. Now what is the strategic importance of this agreement? So strategic importance we can say very important here. What is that? Now India has been designated as major defense partner by USA. The foundational agreement deepen this defense cooperation in trade and we can say that operation. India and US are also part of broader shared vision of Indo-Pacific region, where both countries along with Japan and Australia are increasing their military cooperation. Now this is important with respect to like the US is having some kind of check on China's rise in Asia Pacific region, and for us also that is very significant. Are there any concerns? Yes, critics worry that tying itself too closely with US may limit India's choices, especially when we talk about India's defense cooperation with Russia. Okay, why? Because whatever the technology that we take from Russia and from US, they are having different kind of technologies, and there will not be any interoperability among them, and that is going to be a problem in near future. Okay, so such kind of question, what are military foundational agreements? Discuss the strategic significance of signing these agreements with US. Okay, so simple question है जो IR में GS2 में पूछा जा सकता है. Fine. Okay, moving on to next article. Yes, what is the D614G mutation in coronavirus? So this is what you can say significance for our examination, because this is specific mutation commonly found around all countries in coronavirus. Novel coronavirus is undergoing many mutations, but one particular mutation D614G, according to a study, has become dominant variant in global COVID-19 pandemic. Dominant variant है mutation का. What is this D614G? When the virus enters individual's body, it aims in creating copies of itself. When it makes an error in this copying process, we get the mutation. ठीक है, तो error हो गया मतलब वहाँ पे mutation हो गया. In this case, the virus replaced the aspartic acid D in 614th position of amino acid with glycine. Hence the mutation is called D614G. How is this mutation different? This mutation is situated in spike protein of the virus. So we can say that this is the spike protein timer. यहाँ पे आपको दिखाई दे रहा है ये लोकेशन है इस म्यूटेशन का स्पाइक प्रोटीन में. फाइन. So you can think the spike protein as massive trimer assembly with 3 protein chains. Each protein chain has 2 subunits S1 and S2. The subunit S1 is that attaches to host cells human ACE2 receptor. So this is important information from prelims perspective. थोड़ा सा डिटेल में है बट हमें समझ के लेना बहुत ज़रूरी है. We need to understand the mechanism here. This particular mutation aids the virus in attaching more efficiently with ACE2 receptor in human host, and thereby making it more successfully entering human body than its predecessors. यानी कि जो म्यूटेशन से पहले ही वायरस था. फाइन. Study suggests that not only did 614G show increased infectivity, but it's also displayed greater ability of attaching itself to the cell walls inside individual nose and throat, increasing the viral load. However, it has not given any connection with the patient's mortality. Okay, because many patients are having variable reactions depending upon their genetic constitution, age and exposure to other diseases, comorbidities. Fine. So yes, genetic mutation D614G is dominant variant, we can say that, in coronavirus. Next. Yes, seaplane makes a splash on Sabarmati, one of the important development. Regional connectivity scheme, we can say that. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched this regional connectivity scheme here from Statue of Unity near Kevadia in Narmada district of Gujarat and Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad. Okay, so this is the maiden flight of twin engine plane. So this 19-seater seaplane is part of, we can say, regional connectivity scheme. The twin engine Otter aircraft operated by SpiceJet for the seaplane service is 50-year-old. Now this was the controversy here, that generally DGCA do not allow those seaplanes above 15 years and 20 years. 15 years for, we can say, older than 15 years for passenger service and older than 20 years for cargo service. Fine. So why they have allowed here, and even PM himself has taken this trip here, first trip. So there was concerns regarding safety here. So however, airplane spokesperson said that the plane had undergone regular maintenance. Overall, all required SOPs are in line with the operational guidance. Though SpiceJet and Civil Aviation Ministry claim that this is the first ever seaplane journey in the country, however, Mr. Modi in 2017 itself had taken a similar ride from Sabarmati river in Ahmedabad to Dharoi Dam in Mehsana. Fine. Okay, so basic information regarding Statue of Unity, जो 2018 में काफी न्यूज में था, right? So statue of we can say statesman and independence activist, a leader of freedom struggle, Vallabhbhai Patel, who was first deputy prime minister and home minister of independent India, located in Gujarat. World's tallest statue with a height of 182 meters. It is located in Narmada river in Kavadia colony, facing the Sardar Sarovar Dam. Okay, so this is very important information, that it is built on Narmada river and it faces to the Narmada Sardar Sarovar Dam, which is built on Narmada river. Now it is designed by Indian sculptor Ram Sutar. Fine. So important note here is that Sardar Sarovar Dam is concrete gravity dam on Narmada river, and it provides some kind of, let's say, services, irrigation, electricity to 4 states: Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Maharashtra. Fine. So ये information आपको prelims के लिए important है. Okay. Next, the amended land laws for Jammu Kashmir. Yes, we can say that there can be question from prelims कि क्या amendment हुए हैं. Some specific questions are being asked for particular laws and amendment. So yes, this can be asked. What are the changes made here? Basic information we need to understand here, that section 96 of J&K Reorganization Act 2019 empowers Ministry of Home Affairs to adopt and modify any law by way of repeal or amendment before expiration of 1 year from the appointment day of Union Territory of J&K, which is 31st October 2019. ओके, तो उससे पहले जो है वो कर सकते हैं, तो उसके पहले ही किया हुआ है वो रिपील या अमेंड. व्हाट आर द चेंजेस इन 1996 एक्ट पर्टेन्स टू मैनेजमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर लैंड. तो ये कौन सा एक्ट है ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. ओके, सो यूनियन टेरिटरी ऑफ जम्मू कश्मीर, जम्मू कश्मीर डेवलपमेंट एक्ट ऑफ 1970, ओके, एंड J&K लैंड रेवेन्यू एक्ट ऑफ 1996. Okay, so 1996 pertains to management of agriculture land, and 1970 relates to zonal development plans, or we can say determining land use. According to amendment to the Land Revenue Act, anyone from any part of the country can now buy land in J&K, including agriculture land. Now this is very significant development. Earlier the permanent resident of the states were only eligible to buy any land in Jammu Kashmir and not outsiders. Okay, so this has been changed. The government can allow the transfer of agriculture land to the public trust, charitable work, healthcare, education. Okay, so amendment deletes the word permanent resident provision in the 1970 Act that provided housing sites within the range of 25 to 30 square meters to permanent residents belonging to economically weaker section. तो अभी ये जो पूरे इंडिया के जो वीकर सेक्शंस है उनको वहां पे अलाउ होगा. ठीक है. फ्रेश प्रोविजन हैज बीन एडेड बाय विच द गवर्नमेंट ऑन रिटर्न रिक्वेस्ट ऑफ आर्मी ऑफिसर नॉट बिलो द रैंक ऑफ कॉर्प्स कमांडर may declare an area as strategic area for direct operational and training requirement of armed forces. It also creates Jammu Kashmir Industrial Development Corporation, and this body can sell, lease or exchange, transfer any property held by it. Jammu Kashmir Land Grants Act also amended, which regulates grants of government land on lease, and earlier applied to urban areas of Jammu Srinagar towns, and now it is extended to entire union territories. So these are the changes made in different land laws of Jammu Kashmir. Fine. So some factual information we can say that is given in this article. Okay, so these were important articles for our prelims as well as mains examination. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of mains related articles is done by Ansari sir and team, you can contact Lukman IAS. Thank you.